I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Eddie, 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 Eddie.
Wow. Where's your coffee?
It's not here. I put it down. Put it down.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Posturing for Your Day. I'm Bill.
I'm Gina.
And it's 7:30 and we're breathing. I hear that breathing's good for our head. You take a deep breath in and feel it leaving. And you know what that means?
You didn't wake up dead.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Oh, it's a silly Wednesday morning. It's sort of not raining today, so that's kind of an
it's going to clear
improvement.
up today, maybe.
Is it?
I think
Right.
so.
You know, a lot of people have been complaining about the rain. We've had a real stretch of rain, and I can't help but to think our basement doesn't have 4 feet of water in it.
This is true.
Our-
Not this time.
Our office hasn't been looted.
This is true.
We didn't lose electricity. I mean, we're
Yeah.
doing a lot better than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. That's a blessing,
Yeah,
right?
Look for the blessings.
There,
Look
go
for
for
everything
blessings.
That's not. Yeah. Anyway, yes, it's true. Rain is inconvenient
It is.
and sometimes dangerous. And yes, but,
And it makes it so I can't ride my motorcycle.
and then there's that. So.
So today we got a full thing lined up for us.
I'm so proud of myself. Yeah.
What did you do this time?
So we're talking about lung and large intestine because those are the two organs, and both in Western and Eastern understanding of these organs that are most active and also the most vulnerable as we head into autumn. So we're just trying to focus some special attention on functions of the lung and the gut and keeping them healthy, which will help our immune system and help us ride through this season hopefully a little bit more smoothly.
Sounds good. Well, I'm going to step out of the way. Do you need me to help you get anything set up?
Yeah.
Should I bring in your prop?
I'm going to bring in a chair for this
Oh.
one. So I need to sit down for this one.
Hey, there's coffee over here.
Oh man, such a brat. So,
Here's your chair, Miss Marks.
thank you. So kind. Anyway, so I'm sitting today because a few years ago, in the most unlikely of little books I found along the way called Manage Your Day-to-Day, Build Your Routine, Find Your Focus, and Sharpen Your Creative Mind. It's just a collection of little stories, articles written by a wide number of people about how to be more effective in life and calm and all of that. And there was this very interesting little piece in here about something called screen apnea. So we've heard of sleep apnea, where you have these intermittent periods of not breathing and then suddenly waking up again. I have to put on my goofy glasses here. So there's a woman who sort of did a informal study where she was observing how people, over 200 of them actually, who are using computers and TVs even and smartphones, would actually either intermittently hold their breath or just start to breathe really shallowly. And this was a majority of people were doing this. I find myself doing it. So I know it's a thing. And so she got curious about, like, over the long haul, what sort of effect might that have? And we know, not breathing is not a good thing. We want to avoid, stopping that. But more specifically, what effects does intermittent breath holding have? And some of the things that we already are aware of, the body becomes more acidic. Things like the kidneys begin to reabsorb sodium. I don't fully understand all of that implication. But the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and nitric oxide balance is undermined, which throws off our biochemistry. Now, I was familiar with oxygen and CO2, not so much with nitric oxide, but apparently, and this is not the same as nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, the immune system uses nitric oxide in fighting viral, bacterial, and parasitic infections and tumors. Nitric oxide transmits messages between nerve cells and is associated with the processes of learning, memory, sleeping, feeling pain, and probably depression. It's also a mediator in inflammation. Goes on, some information about the vagus nerve, which mediates the autonomic nervous system, which includes the fight or flight, and then the parasympathetic nervous system. So deep breathing, we know, triggers the parasympathetic system, which helps us to relax and regenerate. Shallow breathing, so we know that the orthosympathetic, the fight or flight response, will cause us to breathe more shallowly, but breathing more shallowly also will trigger the orthosympathetic response. That's hard to say without my third cup of coffee. So in this state, the heart rate increases, our sense of feeling full is compromised, and our bodies gear up for the physical activity that historically accompanies a fight or flight response. But when the only activity is sitting and responding to email, we're sort of all dressed up and nowhere to go. But in this state also, our bodies are tuned to be impulsive and compulsive when we're in fight or flight. We tend to become tuned to overconsume, whether it's food or information. It's like we're looking for something to consume. We don't have any sense of when enough is enough. We reach for every available resource, from food to information, as if it's our last opportunity, pulling out our smartphones again and again to check for emails, texts, and messages. So those are some very interesting things that we now are associating with, lack of deep breathing that are going on all the time, and we don't even realize it has so much to do with just, sitting in front of a computer. So once again, more reasons why we need to find ways to be able to remember to breathe when we're in these situations. And she talks a little bit about that. She coined a phrase, conscious computing, and it's just about learning new skill sets, which, is going to be a huge overhaul in how we do things. But, at least starting to be aware of it is the first part of that. So now that you're aware of it, I'm just going to go into a few movements that are just going to help facilitate breathing and a little bit of opening the chest and the belly. And there are things that you can do when you're sitting at your desk or sitting anywhere for that matter. All right, so I'm going to be sitting more on the edge of my chair, which allows my pelvis to be in a better position to allow my abdomen to be relaxed and have more space for diaphragmatic breathing. Also keeps my chest open, my rib cage is open, so I'm not slumping over and I'm not tensing it up. And we're just gonna, find that comfortable position, and we're just gonna take some breaths here, just really allowing, just like we've been doing with our Wuchi position, just letting the breath expand into the abdomen. And it's true, like with any practice of anything, when you're doing it regularly, when you're not in the moment of stress or the moment of orthosympathetic response where we fall back on our habits, when you are trying to generate different habits before you're under the stress load, it's a lot easier to remember to bring them in when that moment comes. And I've been finding that true for myself too. I find myself more deeply breathing more frequently throughout the day. Except for maybe when I'm in front of a camera. I probably didn't breathe this entire time up until just now. Anyway. All right, so we're going to take some breaths in and just try to let your shoulders stay relaxed. So all of the movement is happening in the abdomen and the lower rib cage. Another breath in and out. We're just going to rock the pelvis back and forth. So I'm going to start first with just bringing my upper hip bones closer to the thighs and keeping my lower back relaxed. And just rocking back and forth with the breath. Inhale and exhale. And even as we're focusing on our breathing, remembering that the large intestine is also, as far as Chinese medicine is concerned, related to the lungs as well. Opening up and giving space for the belly is going to help allow for easier digestion as well, if we're not crunching it all when we're sitting. All right, now we're going to just do a little cat-cow move in the chair. So I'm just going to round the back, let the pelvis tip backward, arch the back slightly, breathe in, exhale. Breathing in full, contracting the belly, exhaling fully. Do one more exhale. And now we're going to turn the rib cage slowly to one side. So we inhale to the center and exhale to the side. And then back. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Just releasing some tension in the abdomen, in the waist, in the low back. Got a little adjustment there, that was cool. And one more time, side to side. And we'll come back to center. And we'll do another rib cage opening move. Stretch the arms up. So I'm extending up through the arms, pushing down through the sit bones. And then exhaling to the side. That one feels good. These are moves that are not too conspicuous in a workplace, I would think. You just look like you're stretching and doing your thing, but the key is being aware of your breath as you're doing this as well. One more to each side, exhaling as you bend forward or bend to the side. Inhale up and exhale to the side. Inhaling up, exhale, let the hands come back down. Now do a little shoulder and neck stretch. So we're working our way up because this whole area, chin, upper chest, also gets very locked up, and that's part of our breathing mechanism also, and we want to make sure that those channels are clear, the pipes are open. Bringing one arm out and just extending gently through from the elbow out up to the shoulder joint. Just finding that place of the most fulfilling sort of stretch there. Keeping the palm up or slightly turned behind you. And then tucking the chin back and lowering the head to the opposite side. Breathing in, breathing out, relaxing, allowing the head to drop just a little bit more. And then on the next breath, just gently bringing the arm in. Shake it out a little. And bring the other arm out, pulling the elbow away from the shoulder joint. Palm up or slightly turned back. Ramp the chin and then lower the head. Breathing in. Nice full but not completely full inhale. Whenever we do or what I call the full breath in, it's really probably about 80%, because if you're breathing all the way in and you're tensing up your muscles to do that, you're actually burning more oxygen. So we kind of bring it up to about 80% capacity and then gently exhale, lower. All right, bring the arm back, shake it out. And then one more thing with the neck. So we're going to ramp the head back, tuck the chin under, and just lower the chin to the chest. And exhale, slowly roll it to one side, one ear of the shoulder. Slightly back, so you're going to feel some of that stretch in through the large SCM muscle here, which is part of what keeps our head in a head forward posture, even when we're trying not to do that. Do that one more time to each side. And we'll come back to center. And we'll do a little gentle massage here. So I'm going to bring my head back into that position where, making sure that my head is positioned over the shoulders rather than from here and then arching it back. So I'm going to ramp the head back first and then gently stretch the SCM muscle open. And I'm just using really light pressure just on the surface of the skin, but I can feel the tissue and the fascia underneath pulling, and I can feel it up into my ear as well. And we're just gently stroking down along either side of the SCM muscle from the bottom of the jaw down to the top of the collarbone. There's a lot of lymph nodes here. We're just encouraging a little bit of lymphatic flow. As good as we're heading into fall and we're becoming more enclosed in our workspaces with a lot of other people. Just do that a few times. It feels very nice. Down into the upper chest. And then we'll do the other side. I think if you're somebody who tends toward earaches and ear infections when you get sick, this might be a nice thing to try before you reach for the antibiotics. Just doing, some gentle massage here, and you can, like I said, you can feel it reach into in and around the ear. All right. One last chi massage thing we'll do. So we're working on upper chest and releasing any tension here. So the lung meridian actually starts under the lateral aspect of the collarbone. We're going to start from the sternum and just a little light tapping. Keep your breathing going into the belly and out again. And we're going to take finger pads and just slapping down the inside of the arm and up the outside onto the shoulder. A little bit into the neck even. Do a little henpecking tapping around the beginning of the lung meridian. And come down, and we're going to go to the other side. This helps with tension in the arms and the shoulders also. It just kind of feels nice, gets the circulation going. So there's a little routine you can do. And, if you have any comments, ideas, experiences with screen apnea in your own life, in your workplace, you have some ideas of what might have helped for you to remember to breathe. Like I said, it is a practice, and the more you're doing it when you're not in those situations, the easier it will be to remember when you're not doing it under stress. Ooh. This is nice. Speaking of stress. Hi, Bill.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Bring it up a little bit.
Oh,
Cut my head off. So, screen apnea.
Screen apnea. Yep.
I'd never heard that before.
Yeah.
And if I get it right, I was trying to follow along. It was very, very technical reading. But when we're sitting at the computer, staring at a computer screen, we're actually kind of holding our breath.
Holding our breath, particularly when responding to emails, which is interesting. More frequently, we just stop breathing, and then until the body prompts us to take a breath. But it's so under our awareness that we're doing it
So even when the body prompts us to take a breath, it's probably going to be a shallow
It's
little,
probably going to be a shallow breath.
like
Yeah.
just enough to keep
Right.
like from passing out.
Right.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Is that the same thing happening with the cell phones?
With cell phones and even TV. Yes. Yeah. Anytime we get engaged for whatever reason, and that would be a very interesting study. I hope somebody looks into that.
We're holding
Why?
our breath when we're watching
Right.
a screen.
Right.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, folks. You heard it here first. Unless you read it in that book first, in which case you heard it here second. That's something I'm going to be very conscious of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully you all will be.
I mean, if we're bringing in less oxygen, then all that whole host of problems that you read is there. And I would think even brain fog and
Yeah, all the things that we're attributing to the external circumstances of, my boss, the emails are always coming, the next meeting I got to plan, the stress. And it could be coming from internally that you're just, your whole oxygen CO2 balance is off.
that could be the source of a lot of headaches as well.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
lack of oxygen, O2.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you've given us plenty to think about, Ms. Marks. We want to thank you for joining today. Stay dry
Stay cool.
and stay out of the news.